If you walked into a dealership today and bought a $5,000 motorcycle to save money on gas, well, statistical probability says you will actually increase your household transportation budget to about $80,000 over the next 5 years.
It is totally wild.
Right. So today on our deep dive, we are unpacking a very specific conversation that happens in households all across the world.
Oh, I know the one.
Yeah, it usually starts with someone looking at their spouse, holding up a picture of a sleek, beautiful machine, and they say the magic words.
Honey, if we buy this motorcycle, it is actually a responsible financial decision.
Exactly. Think of the gas we will save.
Right. It is the ultimate time-honored transportation math equation.
Yes, it is.
And, it relies on a logic that feels completely unassailable until you actually look at the data.
Because on paper, it feels like basic physics, right?
Yeah.
You take 2 wheels off a vehicle, you chop the engine size down, you strip away the doors and the air conditioning. It should logically chop the cost of ownership in half.
That is the assumption.
Right. So our mission today is to look past the romance of the open road and dig into the hard, unforgiving math of a 5-year cost of ownership breakdown, comparing motorcycles and cars.
And we are pulling from a massive stack of sources to figure this out.
Oh, yeah, we have a lot.
We've got real-world data from Reddit threads, places like Tree Motorcycles and Moto UK. We were looking at Facebook groups like Deaf Diversity Vloggers and Chicago Rider communities.
Lots of everyday rider data.
Exactly. We also have extensive breakdowns from YouTube channels like Guys Gears and Grit and Two Wheel Truth. Plus, we have industry articles from Auto Trader and Motorcyclist and Web Bike World.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because on paper, taking 2 wheels off a vehicle should chop the cost in half. So where does the math actually lead us? Let's start where every single buyer starts.
The showroom floor.
Right, the showroom floor. Because this is where the illusion is born, and I have to admit, it is a very, very compelling illusion.
It is incredibly compelling, mainly because it is anchored in genuine sticker prices.
Right, the initial cost is real.
Yeah, if you look at the car market right now, new cars have become just astronomically expensive.
Oh, they are ridiculous.
The era of the truly cheap economy car is essentially over.
Yeah, the Mitsubishi Mirage is gone. The Nissan Verso is dead.
Exactly. Kelley Blue Book data actually shows that the last sub-$20,000 new car likely sold late in 2025.
Wow.
Yeah, so the average new car transaction in the U.S. is hovering over $50,000.
50 grand.
Yeah, even a standard reliable commuter vehicle, like a Honda CR-V is going to start around $28,000.
And then you walk into a motorcycle dealership and the numbers look like an absolute dream.
Oh, totally.
Like you want a beginner-friendly Kawasaki Ninja 500 that is roughly $5,200.
Right.
Or say you want something with a bit more punch like a Yamaha MT-07, that is about $8,600.
Still so much cheaper.
Yeah, you are looking at a massive $15,000 to $20,000 advantage on day one.
And then you stack fuel economy on top of it.
The gas savings.
Right. Auto Trader points out that 125cc learner bikes in the UK get between 90 and 120 miles per gallon.
120 miles per gallon is just insane. And for anyone who hasn't stared at a spec sheet lately, 125cc refers to the engine displacement, so cubic centimeters.
Right. It's a very small, lightweight engine, usually restricted to beginners or urban commuters.
Okay.
But even if we look at mid-size, highway-capable utilitarian vehicles, the gap is still huge.
Like what?
Well, Motorcyclist magazine looked at the Honda NC750X motorcycle compared to the Honda CR-V.
Okay, so sticking with the same brand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The CR-V gets about 28 miles per gallon on the highway.
Right.
Motorcycle gets 52.4.
So you're paying a fraction of the price for the vehicle and you're buying half as much gas. I mean, it seems absolutely undeniable.
But what is fascinating here is how quickly that falls apart when we synthesize what the data actually says about human behavior.
Okay, how so?
Because the fuel savings are, for the vast majority of riders, a complete mirage.
A mirage.
You had to look at how much people actually ride. The Federal Highway Administration tracks this, and they note that the average American motorcycle is only ridden 2,121 miles per year.
Wait, 2,000 miles?
2,121.
That is barely a single cross-country road trip.
Right, so if you do the math on that specific mileage, the fuel you are saving compared to driving a car, those exact same 2,000 miles, is a mere $100 to $300 annually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it is nowhere near the thousands of dollars people project in their heads when they make the spreadsheet for their spouse.
Okay, but wait, I am looking at this Reddit thread from a guy with an SV650 in Southern California, and his math completely contradicts this.
There are exceptions.
Yeah, he says he commutes daily, he splits lanes through deadlocked traffic, and he says he saves 15 minutes each way.
Right.
He's putting like 500 miles a month on that bike, so for him, the fuel and time savings have to outweigh these averages, right?
The hardcore commuter, especially in a state like California or in the UK where lane filtering is legal, is definitely saving on gas and crucially on time.
Right. Time is money.
Exactly.
Huh.
If you ride 10 or 15,000 miles a year, the fuel savings do become mathematically significant.
So the spouse spreadsheet works for them.
Well, no,
Huh.
because high mileage immediately triggers the most hidden and deceptive expense in the entire motorcycle ecosystem,
Which is what?
the maintenance trap.
The maintenance trap. I love that term. Because we all assume that a smaller vehicle with fewer parts has to be cheaper to maintain.
Let's look at why that assumption is fundamentally flawed, starting right where the rubber meets the road. Tires.
Okay. Tires.
A standard set of car tires will easily last you 50,000 miles.
Sure.
A good set might cost you $400 to $600,
Sure.
but you won't think about them again for half a decade.
Right. I almost never change my car tires.
But motorcycle tires are a completely different chemical and structural reality.
How so?
They use incredibly soft rubber compounds to maintain grip while the vehicle's leaning over.
Oh, right, because they have to curve.
Exactly. And the contact patch, the actual amount of rubber touching the road, is about the size of a credit card.
Just a credit card? That is terrifying.
Yeah, and because it is so soft and it's carrying so much load, a rear tire on a bike might only last 3,000 to 15,000 miles.
Wait, 3,000?
And if you ride a sport bike aggressively, those sticky tires can burn out in 2,500 miles.
2,500 miles. That means our daily commuter in California is burning through a rear tire every 5 months.
At least.
And they aren't cheap, right? You're looking at $300 to $400 a set, plus the labor to mount and balance them.
You are easily looking at over $1,000 annually just in rubber for a heavy commuter.
Here is where it gets really interesting to me. It's like comparing heavy-duty work boots to specialized track spikes.
So I like that.
Yeah, the car tires are the work boots, right? They are built for endurance, they carry heavy loads, and the thick rubber soles, they just last forever.
Exactly.
But the motorcycle tires are track spikes. They grip like crazy, they allow you to lean into corners and defy gravity, but you burn through the soles almost immediately.
Because the compound has to be so soft to keep you alive.
Right.
And that track spike mentality applies to the entire engine too.
Really?
Yeah, motorcycles operate under entirely different physical stresses than cars. We wanted a Facebook post from a deaf vlogger in the DDV group that perfectly captures this.
The Deaf Diversity Vloggers group?
Right. They took their bike in for standard maintenance. Just 3 fluid changes and a filter.
Sounds simple enough.
And they were absolutely shell-shocked when the bill came to $600.
Wait, I'm stuck on that. A $600 fluid change? What fluid is costing that much? I mean, I'd get my car's oil changed for $80 while I wait in the drive-thru.
It comes down to mechanical complexity and labor. In most cars, the engine oil and the transmission fluid are entirely separate systems.
Okay.
But in most motorcycles, it is a shared system with a wet clutch, meaning the engine oil is also lubricating the transmission and the clutch plates.
Oh, so it has to be doing double duty.
Exactly. It requires specialized, expensive synthetic oils that won't make the clutch slip. Plus, motorcycles are tightly packaged.
Right, they are tiny.
So mechanics often have to remove plastic fairings, fuel tanks, and exhaust components just to reach the oil filter or the coolant lines.
So you're paying for all that extra time.
The labor hours just skyrocket.
And it gets much more intensive than just fluids, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Motorcycles have exposed drivetrains. You have to clean and lubricate the chain constantly and replace the chain and sprockets every 15 to 20,000 miles.
And that's not a thing on cars.
No cars use enclosed drive shafts, mostly. And then there are valve adjustments.
What's a valve adjustment?
Well, car engines redline at maybe 6,000 RPMs, revolutions per minute. The motorcycle engine might spin at 10,000 or even 14,000 RPMs.
14,000. That's screaming.
It creates immense heat and friction. Over time, the microscopic metal gaps between the engine valve warp and tighten.
Oh, I see.
So they require manual clearance checks. On a simple Japanese twin-cylinder, that might be $300.
Okay, that's manageable.
But on a high-strung European bike, like a KTM 390 or an exotic MV Augusta, That valve check can easily cost over $1,000 at a dealership
Just to check them.
because they essentially have to take the top half of the motorcycle apart to measure a gap the width of a human hair.
Okay, so let's bring this back to that Motorcyclist magazine comparison, right? Between the Honda CR-V and the Honda NC750X.
Right.
When they ran the 5-year data, assuming equal mileage, what was the final tally?
Over 5 years, the CR-V's maintenance was estimated at $7,380.
Okay.
The motorcycle's maintenance was estimated at $11,000.
Wow. The bike actually costs significantly more to keep running.
It does. Now, if we connect this to the bigger picture, we have to add some nuance here.
Because of the different types of bikes.
Right, based on a very popular pet peeve thread on the R Motorcycles subreddit.
Oh, yeah, I saw this.
Riders get very frustrated when people compare the maintenance of a high-performance super sport bike like a Yamaha R1 to a Toyota Corolla.
Which is, yeah.
Yeah, an R1 is basically a street-legal race vehicle that can out-accelerate a $250,000 Lamborghini. Of course, it is expensive to maintain.
Right, you wouldn't expect a race car to be cheap to run either.
Exactly. If you buy a simple, low-displacement commuter bike, your maintenance will be much lower. But the fundamental truth remains. Mile for mile, maintaining a motorcycle is highly labor and parts-intensive compared to a modern car.
So we've established these machines are essentially street-legal race vehicles built with soft track rubber and engines that spin at 14,000 RPMs.
Yeah.
But what about the person riding it? When you buy a car, your safety equipment, the airbags, the seat belts, the crumple zones, all of that is included in the purchase price.
It's built right in.
But when you buy a motorcycle, you have to buy your own crumple zones.
You wear them.
Right, you wear them. It is an admission ticket that car drivers literally never have to think about.
And you cannot skimp on the admission ticket.
No, you really can't.
The YouTube channel, Guys Gears, and Grit laid this out clearly with the philosophy of all the gear all the time.
ATGATT, really.
Yes. The safe mid-range kit, we were talking it, a DOT and ECE certified helmet, a jacket with armor, proper riding gloves, and reinforced boots. That is going to cost you between $1,000 and $1,500 out of the gate.
So what do those certifications actually mean for the buyer, like DOT and ECE?
DOT stands for the Department of Transportation, which is the basic legally required minimum in the U.S.
Okay.
ECE is the Economic Commission for Europe, which puts helmets through much more rigorous modern impact testing.
Got it.
If a helmet has both, it is generally considered very safe. But that safety comes at a premium.
Like how much?
If you want top-tier gear like a premium AGV helmet, that helmet alone can cost $1,450.
And gear isn't just a one-and-done purchase either. It is a consumable just like the tires.
Exactly, because helmets expire.
They expire.
Yeah, the core of a helmet is made of EPS foam, expanded polystyrene. It is a highly engineered styrofoam designed to crush and absorb the kinetic energy of an impact before it reaches your skull.
So I read a great analogy for this. It's like comparing fresh bread to a crouton.
Oh, that's perfect.
Over time, UV light your own sweat and just the heat they make that EPS foam brittle.
Right.
So after about 5 years, it literally becomes a crouton. When you hit the ground, instead of squishing and absorbing the impact like fresh bread, it just snaps.
That is the perfect way to visualize it. Manufacturers and safety experts state you must replace your helmet every 5 years, even if you never drop it.
Wow.
And if you do crash even a minor slide at 20 miles per hour, your helmet is done.
You just have to throw it away.
Yeah, your jacket's armor is likely compromised, your gloves might be shredded. You have to replace all of it.
So, okay, we've bought the bike. We've bought $1,000 in gear. We know our EPS foam is slowly turning into a crouton.
Yeah.
Now you have to insure the bike. And the actuaries at the insurance companies, they aren't blind to that reality of track rubber and high speed. So how do they price that risk?
It is a tale of two extremes based on actuarial data. The statistical probability of you filing a claim.
Okay.
If you are a 35-year-old on a slow, heavy cruiser, your insurance is likely incredibly cheap. You might pay $400 a year for full coverage.
That's not bad at all.
AutoTrader notes that in the UK, a 17-year-old getting a 125cc learner bike will actually save thousands of pounds a year compared to insuring their first car, because the maximum speed and damage potential of a 125cc is so low.
But what if you were a 20-something guy in the U.S. who just bought a fast sport bike?
Then the actuarial math completely turns against you. For a young rider on a sport bike, full coverage insurance can easily hit $3,000 a year.
$3,000 a year.
Over 5 years, your insurance premiums will cost more than the brand new purchase price of the motorcycle itself.
Is the gap so massive purely because the bike is fast?
It is partly because sport bike riders crash more often, and when they do, the medical claims and property damage are severe.
Sure.
But it is also a cultural issue. There's a culture of clout chasing that insurers are painfully aware of.
Oh, like on social media.
Exactly. There's a huge discussion on Year Motorcycles about a Danish rider who was hit with 86 different traffic tickets.
86? How did the police even catch him?
He posted videos of himself online, riding recklessly, hitting speeds over 180 miles per hour.
Oh, wow.
This phenomenon of recording illegal high-speed runs for social media likes is pervasive. Insurance companies know this demographic is high risk.
So they jack up the rates.
And furthermore, Web Bike World notes that if you finance your bike through a bank, the lender will require comprehensive and collision coverage to protect their investment.
So you can't just get liability.
No, you can't just buy bare minimum liability insurance to save cash.
Yeah.
You are locked into those astronomical premiums.
So let's zoom out to the garage itself. You have convinced your spouse, you bought the bike for $5,000, you spent $1,500 on gear, you paid the high insurance, and you budgeted for 3 sets of tires a year.
You're feeling pretty good about the math.
You feel like you've mapped out every cost, right? But what is the ultimate reality of owning this machine?
The reality is that almost nobody actually sells their car when they buy a motorcycle.
Right.
91.6% of U.S. households own a car.
Because you can't put a week's worth of groceries for a family of 4 on the back of a Kawasaki.
Exactly.
You can't take your kids to soccer practice in a blizzard on a motorcycle.
For the vast majority of riders, a motorcycle is an addition to their transportation fleet. It's not a replacement. And this is where the spreadsheet truly breaks.
How bad is it?
Well, Two Wheel Truths ran the macro numbers on this scenario. If you maintain a typical car over 5 years, factoring in depreciation, gas, insurance, maintenance, it costs about $57,000.
Okay, $57,000 for the car.
If you decide to add a motorcycle to your life, you aren't saving money. You are pushing your household's 5-year transportation expenses up to $70,000 or even $80,000.
Because that car is still sitting in the garage.
Right.
It is still depreciating every single day. You are still paying the insurance premium on the car. You are buying battery tenders to keep the motorcycle battery alive while you drive the car in the rain.
Yep.
You are literally just adding a second highly maintenance-intensive vehicle to your life and overlapping all your costs.
This brings us to the final, most sobering financial metric,
Which is?
the safety tax. When we compare these vehicles, we are comparing a 2-ton steel cage with airbags and crumple zones to you balancing on 2 wheels in moving traffic.
And the statistics from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration are really grim.
They are. Per mile traveled, a motorcyclist is 28 times more likely to die in a crash than a passenger car occupant.
28 times.
You are 5 times more likely to be injured. This has a profound financial impact that people rarely put on their spreadsheets.
Yeah, I bet.
Two Wheel Truths highlighted that even a minor crash often means missed work. Health insurance deductibles come into play. The average jury verdict for a motorcycle accident involving injuries is around $73,700.
That is massive.
The medical bills, the physical therapy, the lost income, the financial ruin you risk every time you throw a leg over the saddle is immense.
So what does this all mean? We started this deep dive trying to figure out if buying a motorcycle is a responsible financial decision, and the math seems overwhelmingly negative.
If we look purely at the ledger, yes. But we have to change how we define the decision.
How so?
The channel Guy's Gears and Grit framed this beautifully. Buying a motorcycle is not a financial decision. It is a philosophical and lifestyle decision. There are intense risks, and it costs a significant amount of money. But everything worth doing in life has an element of risk. Motorcycles provide a sense of adventure, a connection to the environment, and a feeling of being truly alive that sitting in traffic inside a soundproofed SUV simply cannot offer.
It's about smiles per gallon, not miles per gallon.
Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
If you strip away the romance and look only at the maintenance intervals and insurance tables, you will never buy one. But people don't buy motorcycles for the spreadsheet. They buy them for the soul.
So to summarize this for you, if you are listening to this and your only goal is to save money, the math is very clear. Buy a cheap used 125cc scooter or a highly reliable low displacement Japanese commuter bike.
Yep.
And completely sell your car. That is the only way you actually come out ahead
Right.
financially.
It's the only way.
But if you are like 90% of riders and you keep your car, you have to acknowledge that a motorcycle is a thrilling, wonderful, life-enhancing hobby, but it is an added expense. It is not a budget hack.
Which raises an important question when we look at the data as a whole. We established earlier that the average American motorcycle is only ridden 2,121 miles a year.
Which breaks down to less than 6 miles a day.
Right. So if we are riding less than 6 miles a day, what does that actually say about our modern relationship with adventure? Are we really buying these machines to explore the open road? Or are we paying thousands of dollars in maintenance gear and insurance just to have the physical symbol of freedom parked safely in our garages?
Are we buying the adventure or just the idea of it? That is a question worth asking before you try to convince your spouse about the gas savings.